Today we continue to listen Metta Bhavana. Metta is a dosa. When we practice Metta Bhavana, it is important to suppress anger. One of the methods to suppress anger is to reflect on the attributes of the Bodhisattva. So anger should be suppressed by reflecting on the noble qualities of the Lord Buddha in his various states of existence previous to attaining Buddhahood. So we have to reflect in this way, O yogis, you are Buddha disciple. Your teacher, Lord Buddha, in his capacity as a Bodhisattva, that is, in his existences prior to attainment of his enlightenment, for a period of 4 incalculable and 100,000 kappas, while relentlessly exercising the virtues required of a bodhisattva to accomplish his paramis perfection, had practiced khanti, forbearance of patience, without polluting the mind with anger. Even against all sorts of murderers who were his enemies. So in the Visuddhimagga, the way of practicing patience, beginning from the story of Silawa as an example, and last week we listened the story of Kantiwadi Jataka. So this week we have to listen the story of Chula Dhammapala, the young lad and the monkey king. At one time in the past old days, Mahapatapa was the ruling monarch in the country of Varanasi. At that time, Bodhisattva entered the womb of the chief queen, Chanda Devi, who later gave birth to a son. Our Bodhisattva, the newly born baby, was given the name of Dhammapala. When this young prince Dhammapala was 7 months old, his mother, the queen Chanda Devi, after bathing her child and dressing him with a fine costume, were caressing and jovially playing with the infant with love. When the queen, the mother queen, was jovially playing with her son, the queen, whose joyous thoughts were momentarily fixed on the adorable son, being so delighted that she failed to get up and pay respect to her husband, the king Mapatapa, who had by then come over to the place where the mother was morally coddling the child. The king saw the mother fondling her son, and then the king Mapatapa imagined, even now, this woman is becoming swell-headed and conceited, relying on her son. When the child becomes a grown-up, it is almost certain that she will surely neglect me. Perhaps it would be better to get rid of the son now. With a feeling of disappointment with which had reflected on his facial expression, the king left the palace and proceeded to his royal chamber where the throne had stood. Now the king Mahapatapa immediately sent for the executioner and gave order. The executioner now bring the infant child here, the king order. Judging from his looks from the very outset, the Queen Chandadevi knew that her husband, the king, had entertained his dosa, resentment against her. Realizing this unhappy state of affairs, now the Queen Chandadevi was shedding tears while folding the baby to her breast. While she was thus weeping, the executioner appeared and snatched away the child Dhammapala from her. She followed from behind the executioner by praying, may my son be free from all dangers. On their arrival before the king, the child was put on a wooden slab, and the king immediately gave the orders. Executioner, now chop off the hands of the poor little unfortunate child. When the king ordered to chop the hands of the child, the Queen Chandadevi entreated the king, "O the king, the child was very innocent, and only that is my fault." She said, she pleaded to the king. She pleaded repeatedly that her hands be cut off instead of the hands of her innocent son, but to no avail. The executioner had to obey and execute the orders of the king. The hands of the 7-month-old infant Dhammapala were therefore cruelly chopped off with an axe. The 2 small tender hands were dismembered as if a delicate sprout of a bamboo plant is severed. However, very strange, the young infant did not cry out, but remained still with patience. This is due to his practice Metta Bhavana Kanti. Now Dhammapala, the young infant, made this eternal determination. Now Dhammapala, the executioner is cutting off your hands. Restrain your mind, Dhammapala. Radiate metta to all 4 kinds of person, your own self, the wicked and heartless father, the king Mahapatapa, the executioner, and the mother queen Chanda Devi, who is crying. With your equally balanced mind, put on each and every one of them, wishing them happiness. So that kinds of radiating metta is very, very good. It is called Sima Sambhira. And the young child Dhammapala, when cut off his hands, while his hands were chopped off, he did not utter a cry or lament. Exercising the spirit of patience, wishing happiness to others. Guided by the radiation of loving kindness, endured the pain and suffering by accepting himself to the situation. Just he endured the pain and suffering, and he accepting himself to the continuous pain. Now the mother queen Chanda Devi, after picking up the soft tiny hands that had been severed, folded them close to her breast and was bitterly crying. Thereafter, the father Mahapatapaki again ordered the executioner to cut off the 2 feet, and then the head of the child. The Queen Chanda Devi went on entreating her husband to pardon the innocent child, but to no purpose. The executioner then severed the child's head as ordered by the king, and even tossed up the little delicate body of the child in the air, and on falling down, caught it up with the sharp-pointed sword and play with it as if it were a wreath of flowers. It's called a simala. A si is sword, mala flowers. A simala. The wreath of the flower of sword. That means the body is cutting up many layers. It is almost unbelievable that there was such kinds of foolish, wicked, and heartless father without a tinge of mercy in him. However, there is every possibility of finding such a merciless man from among the Putujana, worldly. They can do anything wrong that can pull down to the lower state. The Achilles are very, very gross. So Putujana, worldly, becomes a slave of anger. Because of this possibility, the case of this wicked king Mahapatapa, father of Dhammapala, has been cited as an example. Now the mother, the queen, died of a broken heart on the spot while weeping and wailing. And by a curious coincidence, King Mahapatapa also fell down from his throne and dropped on the floor fast and eventually reached the level of the earth below, where he was swallowed down to death. So that wicked king had gone down to Avicii, hell, one of the eight narakas. And as for the young child Dhammapala, he passed away peacefully while practicing patience without anger, without any anger, which has not arisen till the time of his death. Considering this episode, it might be possible for a practitioner, yogis, who are developing metta to endure pain and suffering without being angry, just as the young child Dhammapala had practiced forbearance. And in the Visuddhimagga, it mentioned to reflect as to how patience was practiced by Chatanda, the kings of the elephants. Our Bodhisattva is one of his previous existence without anger and ill will. When the hunter shot at the elephant with a poisonous arrow. And in one of the existence, our Bodhisattva was a monkey king. So there is another story, the story of Makapi, monkey king. So at one time, Lord Buddha was dwelling at the bamboo grove, Viluvana monastery in Rajaga. He told the story of one of his past lives. Just as in this present life, Devadatta tried to kill Lord Buddha. And also in a previous life, the gods and Devadatta had tried to harm him by throwing a stone at him. So previous story is like this. Long, long ago, there was a farmer who was plowing his field with his oxen. After some time, he let the oxen loose and began digging with the spade. The oxen grazing here and there and gradually stray away into the forest. When the time was getting late, the man set aside his spade and looked around for his oxen. Now that man realized that they had all disappeared into the forest. So that man became very distressed and ran into the forest searching for his oxen. So he lost his way and wandered about for 7 days without any food. Finally, he came upon a tree that stood at the edge of a cliff. The tree, like a persimmon tree, was full of ripe fruit. That man first picked up and ate the fruits that had fallen on the ground. But he became unsatisfied and he decided to climb the tree to pick more fruit to eat. So that man climbed up the tree, but the branch below him suddenly broke and he fell into a deep ravine. Very luckily, the water in the ravine broke his fall and saved him from being crushed to death. But he could not climb out of the ravine and spent 10 days trapped there. So on the 10th day, a monkey king came by to eat the fruits from the tree. And the monkey king had a splashing rise below, and he looked down into the ravine, and he saw a man splashing water. And the man told the monkey about how he fell down there. So the monkey took pity on the man. So he said, "Don't worry, don't be afraid of. I will take you for safety." So the monkey king, after testing his strength by carrying a heavy stone, went down into the deep ravine to save the man. The monkey carried the man upon his back and with great effort managed to climb back up to the top. Now the monkey king felt very tired after his great effort. So he asked the man, "Oh, poor man, I am very, very tired, so keep watch over me while I'm resting." Now the monkey lay down and soon fast asleep. Now the man who had not eaten in 10 days looked at the monkey, and there arose very evil thoughts. monkeys are to be eaten. To be eaten. If I kill the monkey and eat him, then I will be full for days. So with a full belly, I can surely find my way out of the forest. So you don't understand the gratitude. The monkey save you and he's your benefactor, but you do not know. You do not know. So all the Puthujana are the slave of the Loba. Loba. So you can do any wrong if the Loba asks you. So the man took a stone and hit the monkey on the head, but he did not have enough strength to kill the monkey, only broke his skull. The monkey king very shocked. So he woke up with blood pouring out of his head and immediately jumped up into the tree. The monkey king reproached the man with tears in his eyes. "O poor man, I saved you, and this is how you repay me back." The monkey king told the poor man. But the man requested, "I'm wrong. Now I don't know the way to get out from this forest. Can you show me the way to get out from the forest?" So the monkey king did not abandon the man. Good people forgive very easily. No grudge, no hatred, no grudge at all. Because the monkey king bodhisattva, noble being with great compassion and forgiveness. He practiced metta and he forgive very, very easily. But he did not have confidence to that man. So you go your way, but I will show the way. I will stay up in the trees for safety. And from tree to tree, I will show the way. You can see the drop of the blood from the tree, and you can know the way, and you follow the blood to get out from the forest. So the monkey king pointed at the way out of the forest to the man. After that, the monkey king went back to his forest. So because of his evil deeds, the man felt a burning sensation over his entire body. When he went to the pond to throw water on himself to cool down, leprous, foul-smelling sores appeared over his entire body. So the man suffered for 7 years. For 7 years, he wandered about in great suffering. Wherever he went, people threw stones at him to chase him away. Finally, that poor man came to the park in Varanasi. He lay down outside the park on a plantain leaf, twisting and turning in pain. So at that moment, the king of Varanasi was going to the park with his followers, and he saw the Manosa Peta. Manosa, human, Peta, hungry ghost like man. Manosa Peta. He saw a ghost like man, thin and white as a skeleton, covered with huge lump and sores. Now the king had never seen anyone in such a terrible state like this before. So he asked, man, who are you? You are like a ghost-like man, Manosabeta. What did you do to bring such suffering upon yourself? The king asked. So that man told the king the story of how he betrayed the monkey king, his benefactors. After telling his story, the earth split open and swallowed that man. So that man was reborn in Avijihal because he wronged to his benefactors. So Lord Buddha concluded this teaching by saying, not only in this life, but also in a previous life, that Devadatta, my cousin, threw a stone at me. This life he threw a stone, and previous life he threw a stone at me. So he revealed that in this previous life, our Bodhisattva, the Lord Buddha was a monkey king, and Devadatta was a tricky man. Tricky man. So that is the story of Magapi. Another story is the story of Nagas. There were instances of two bodhisattva dragons, one by the name of Buritatta and the other Champiya, Naga, Naga king, who were captured alive and treated by a snake charmer while they were observing the noble precepts Sila. The snake charmer took these snake dragons to towns and villages where he displayed an exhibition of these two noble creatures, making them dance to the tune of music played by the snake charmer. These nagas possess inherent supernatural power, and these nagas were so highly poisonous and potent that by just looking at the person with spite and emitting fiery flames, people would be reduced to ashes or killed. Even they have the kinds of power, supernatural power, the two nagas endured the misery brought about by their enemies, the snake charmer. So the manner in which they practice patience, refraining themselves from anger, may be reflected as explained in Visuddhimagga, the path of purification. Another one is the manner of exercising patience through mindfulness by Venerable Bhavana. At one time, Venerable Bhavana, a native of Sunapranda country, entreated Lord Buddha to deliver a sermon to him in a concise way. So Lord Buddha preached Venerable Bhavana like this. O my son Bhavana, there are pleasurable and agreeable sights and scenes or sense objects which can be perceived and known by the eyes. These pleasurable sense objects are also connected with one's own desire. They are also prone to sensual attachment. If the sense object that come into your view are accepted with pleasure and looked upon as being agreeable with admiration, or they are embraced or grasped or retained in your possession, it would cause rejoicing in you. It is called Nandi. And Lord Buddha said, my son Bhavana, I say that misery will take place because of this delight and pleasure. Similarly, Lord Buddha preached in respect of the sensation of sound, smell, taste, touch, and thoughts. Another way, Lord Buddha said, O my son Bhavana, the way to end misery, or rather to make misery come to a cessation, is not to accept or entertain a different sensation arising from different sense object, which we cause to generate a feeling of delight and pleasure. If it is done so, there will be no opportunity for Nandi Raga to occur. And Lord Buddha said, O my son Bhavana, because of the cessation of pleasurable condition and feelings, misery and suffering will entirely cease. And Lord Buddha said, O my son Bhavana, I have already given due admonition to you in a brief manner. You had heard and received this admonition, and you may now let me know the place where you are going to reside. And Venerable Bhavana replied to the Lord Buddha, O Bande, I am residing Sunapranta state, in the westernmost part of the continent of India, which is called Jabudipa. So we stayed there in the westmost part of the India, Afghanistan, westernmost part of the continent of India. And Lord Buddha said, "Oh my son Bhavana, the citizens of Sunapranda are rude. They are rough and easily angry. If they scold you and utter abuses at you, how would you feel? And Venerable Pona said to the Lord Buddha, Bande, if they abuse and shout at me, I will be patient. I would bear in mind in this manner, oh, these citizens of Sunapranda are not all bad. They stay good. They only utter abusive words and rebuke, and have not yet made any physical assault on me. They stay good. So Venerable Pona answered to the Lord Buddha, and Buddha asked another question. My son Pona, if they give you a beating and attack you physically, how would you feel? Then Venerable Pona replied, I would forbear it with a feeling of tolerance. That the Sunapranda citizens are only doing harm to me with their hands. Since they have not caused injury to me by throwing stones at me, they stay good. So they will be considered as having conducted themselves fairly very well. And Lord Buddha asked again, O my son Pona, how would you react and respond if you were assaulted physically with stone, stick, or swords? Not to the extent of causing you death? And Venerable Pona replied, Bande, I would tolerate and consider them as they not behaving very badly. They stay good. And Lord Buddha asks, how you will bear in mind and feel if you are killed by being cut with the knife? And Venerable Pona answered, I have heard of an incident where some of the monks from among the disciples of the Lord Buddha had even got to fight for the lethal weapons such as sword to commit suicide for being disgusted with their own material body and life existence. So I consider myself, I'm still lucky. Because no need to find the sword. Somebody gives you, and it is, I'm lucky to accept it. I will consider myself as still lucky enough to be killed by another person without the need to look for weapons. People kill you and you accept it. So this Venerable Pona later made his way to Sunapranda country and carry on practicing meditation. And finally, Venerable Pona had become an Arahant even before the end of his fast vasa. So as such, there is every likelihood of a yogi is to be able to extinguish his anger by reflecting on the manner in which Venerable Bhavana had borne in mind or his mental attitude as cited in this sutta. So if anger cannot yet be exterminated by reflecting on the noble qualities and moral conduct of our bodhisattva, Visuddhimagga has stated that 11 advantages of Metta should be reflected. So yogi have to remind themselves, if you who are developing Metta cannot dispel this anger by doing so, you should kill your anger by reflecting upon yourself, and that you would otherwise lose all the advantages of Metta. So we have to stop our discourse for today. Next week we will continue how to distinguish anger by reflecting on the elements after chemically analyzing them. So by practicing Metta Bhavana, by developing Vipassana meditation, by practicing Vipassana meditation continuously and diligently, may all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.